What happens when you die? I died before, so I can tell you about it. And I pretty much died in my sleep and came back. What happened to me was there was something, someone, some entity, some spirit that came to my room and stood over me while I was asleep. I woke up seeing this figure, this dark figure, standing over me, and I was acting like I was still asleep to try to keep from it noticing that I was awake. And when I was just looking through my eyelashes, just like keeping my eyes, like this this being just stayed there, just stayed still, didn't say anything, didn't do anything. And I was questioning in my mind if I should fight, if I should do something, if I should stop acting like I'm asleep, or you know. But I just stayed there, just stayed still. It stayed still as well. Then all of a sudden, it reaches out its hand, one hand, two fingers like this, and presses on my left arm like that, because I'm just laying on my back. Two fingers press on my left arm like that. Then boom, I feel this cold and warm sensation go down the bottom of my body, and then comes back up to my torso. Then this cold and warm sensation goes up to my head and goes back down to my torso, and it felt amazing. I was like, "Whoa, what was that?" I've never felt this before. This is crazy, but it's actually kind of cool as well. So I was like, "Okay, um, this is interesting." Um, I still don't know who this is. I don't know what they want to do. Uh, but I don't want to go anywhere. I had, before this encounter or experience, had been looking into and researching NDEs. NDEs are near death experiences, and near death experiences were basically about, they are about how when people die and come back to life. People who've died and gone to heaven, people who've died and gone to hell, uh, but they come back and tell their story. And now um, I'm one of them. So as I was still laying there, still playing like I'm asleep, this entity is still, just staying there, watching me. About 30 minutes go by, and I'm like, okay, whoever this is, whatever this is, I really don't want to find out who it is, because it's just a dark figure. I don't know if you've ever seen Ghosts, the movie Ghost, where there's um, the dark figures where they like come out from the underground and take bad people to hell. Like, yeah, it was kind of like that, but didn't have like any red eyes or anything like that. It was just a dark figure. And or I guess some people would say a shadow person. Maybe it was a shadow person. Who it was, I still don't know to this day. However, check this out. I decide I'm going to fight. I say, they're not leaving. I'm not leaving. I'm not going with them because I really don't want to decide who they are and where they want to take me or what. Because I noticed that there was an NDE that I watched where someone who had died and they were in a morgue and they left their body, went across the city, traveled, did a bunch of things, came back, tried to find their body, but they couldn't find their body because they were in the morgue where all the bodies were covered up by sheets. The only way this man could figure out it was his body was because his hand was hanging off the table and he could see the ring on his finger. You recognize that ring, did he jump back in his body? Came back alive, right? So I was like, I don't want that happening to me. I don't want this spirit or whoever this is jumping into my body if I decide to leave and just go fly out the window. Like, then my wife, she's laying next to me, she's like thinking it's me and it's not me, but it's still my body, but something else is control. Like, I don't want to be having to deal with all that. I'm like, I'm not leaving. I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying right here. So basically, I was like, okay, well, we just gonna have to fight because I don't know who this is, and I ain't gonna find out. I'm not trying to find out. I want to know. They just gotta go, you know. So I decide I'm gonna fight, and what happens next is 3, 2, 1. I start swinging. I'm swinging hard as I can, and I'm moving, but I recognize that it's gone. And this being isn't even there anymore. I'm moving, but I recognize that my physical body isn't moving, but I'm moving. But my physical body is just laying in the bed, still. This is when I realize that I'm out of my body, that my spirit is out of my body, and I'm just hovering over my physical body. And as my spirit, me as my spirit, like this is how I describe who we are to my kids. I got 2 boys, right? And I describe it to them as we are spirits and our bodies are just like these physical bodies are vessels, they are vehicles. And our spirit is driving the vehicle. We're controlling the vehicle. So when the spirit leaves the body, these physical bodies, they stop working. So that's pretty much where I was at. I was like, okay, I'm not in my body. I got to get back in my body. So my physical body's laying there and my spirit is just hovering right over it. So imagine I'm laying down and my physical body is right under my spiritual body, and my spiritual body is moving, and it's like I'm running. I'm not standing up like this. I'm still right over my body horizontally, but my arms are moving like I'm running, and my feet are moving like I'm running, and I'm not feeling anything touch my feet. I'm not feeling anything touch my arms. Like, if you put your arms down when you're on the bed, you're gonna feel something, but like I wasn't feeling anything, and I was running like I was on a track as hard as I can. So then I just kept moving and I started shouting, hey, hey, hey. I realized my mouth wasn't even saying anything. I couldn't get control of my voice, and I wasn't making the sound. I wasn't making the movement, and I could not control my body. So as I was running, I just kept on running and shouting, "Hey, hey, hey." And I began to feel some tingling in my physical fingers and in my physical feet. And as I just kept on moving and running, I, I just I decided, okay, I'm starting to feel a little bit of sensation. Maybe if I run harder, I can begin to get more control of my body. So I started running harder and I started shouting louder, "Hey, hey, hey." And I am basically just, oh my gosh, I didn't know, I didn't know what else to say other than hey. If I had shouted Jesus, Jesus probably would have came and got me. I've seen a lot of NDEs where people just say the name Jesus, or they just be like, just crying, just start crying out to the Lord. They see a bright light and then here he is, boom, he's right there. So but for whatever reason, I did not think to just shout out Jesus. Yeah, but I'm kind of glad I didn't actually, because then I probably wouldn't be here. You probably would be like, yo, come on to heaven, man, if you want, You probably would have sent me back, though. It probably would have been pretty cool. But anyway, I just kept shouting, hey, hey, hey. And I'm running harder, right? I start to feel more sensation in my body, my fingers starts going up my arms, my legs, and my mouth starts to mumble. Mm. So then I start running harder, shouting louder. Hi, hi. And I'm just going wild, right? So my wife is still laying next to me. Her back is turned towards me. I can see her, right? My physical eyes are still closed, but my spiritual eyes are wide open and I can see her. Her back's turned towards me. I was like, okay, if I can just start beginning to get more control of my body to where I could just maybe get my body to maybe rock and make enough noise with my mouth, it can wake her up and she can maybe help me, get back in my body, right? So I start running harder, screaming louder. Hi! Hi! And my body begins to rock and my mouth starts to mumble. Mm, mm. And I'm going crazy like this, and my body's starting to move like that, right? So she finally wakes up, turns around. I see her eyes are bucked. She's like, "Oh my gosh," shakes me, "Time, wake up, wake up." Poof, I'm back in my body. She's like, "You're having a bad dream." I'm like, "No, I was awake the whole time. Like, I just saw you turn over and shake me to wake me up, but I was awake the whole time." Like, this was not like what some people would experience. I experienced this when I was little, um, where you're paralyzed when you sleep. And this is not, put it in the comments if you remember what it is. I'm trying to remember what it is right now. It was like paralysis. And yeah, this is not that. I wasn't, I've had a bad dream when I was little, and when I woke up and I couldn't move, and it kind of felt like, I couldn't, um, I couldn't do anything, and I was just paralyzed. Sleep paralysis, that's what it is. So yeah, I've experienced sleep paralysis before, but this was not that. I was outside of my body. I don't know who that spirit was, but they were gone. I was finally back in my body, and I was tripping. I was like, what just happened? When I realized it was pretty much a near death experience. I died, my spirit left my body, and but it was just outside, and I did not go anywhere. I decided I was gonna stay. I don't know if you ever seen the movie Soul, where the guy ends up dying and he decides he wants to get back in his body. Yeah, it's like that for me, except I didn't go to heaven. I didn't go to an astral plane. I didn't go anywhere. I just stayed right there over my body. I was like, I'm not leaving. I got too much to do. I got way too many things. I have a purpose here on this earth, and I know it. I can't leave yet. So I stayed there, and I didn't go anywhere, and got back in my body, and now I'm here to tell you that we never really die. We never die. We are eternal beings. I don't call it death anymore. I call it transitioning to the other side. It's life after life. It's just continual life. Just life in this vessel and then life outside of this vessel. So, yeah, I mean, I'm a believer. I believe in Jesus. I believe that he died and rose again, came back, and bless everyone with the gift, the opportunity to have eternal life in heaven, in the kingdom of God, if you choose to. If not, that's your choice as well. Um, but yeah, I know people that have died, gone to heaven. I know people that have died and gone to hell. I know people that have died and just seen planets and just seen um, blackness, just seen nothing, and they're just there. Seen people that's died and seen lights, uh, called out to Jesus, and he helped bring them back into their body. Uh, this stuff is real. I mean, if you search on YouTube, you'll find thousands and thousands and thousands of near death experiences, and it's not just lights off and you're done. It's life after life, and what we do here, like what we believe here, you know, my mom put it this way when I was young. She said, I'd rather believe in Jesus and find out that he's not real after passing on instead of not believing and finding out that he is real. And my mom, she did just transition to the other side. Crazy thing is, it was a few days before she was about to completely go there, and she was at hospice, um, at home, and I was with her this night, and she was bedridden. She couldn't move. She couldn't do anything to, uh, I guess, give her body any kind of relief or support. So what I would have to do is kind of roll her to one side so she wouldn't get bed sores, and then after a couple hours I roll her to another side, to the other side, so that she won't just be on that same side for hours, or getting sores on her body. So I woke up about 7 in the morning, and I was like, oh, I need a roller to the other side. So um, I dozed back off. And when I dozed off, I began to dream. And my mom, she was not at the time responding or anything. She was not looking at me or anyone. People would just come by and visit and just talk to her just so she could hear their voice. But she was like just laying there and would not respond to anybody or anything really. So, um, but in this dream, I got up. I was sitting on the couch, and I got up and I went to her bedside, and I was eye level with her because like I'm pretty tall, so I'm like way over the bed whenever I walk up to the bed. But this time I was like right eye level with the bed and eye level with her, like I was a little kid, but I was still using my voice as I have now, and so I wasn't a kid. I was, in this, I guess, in this present state, like how I am now. And I said, Mom, I'm going to turn you over to the other side. And she opened her eyes and looked up at the ceiling, turned and looked at me, and nodded her head. She didn't say anything. She just nodded her head. Like, okay, I'm ready to go. Uh, to the other side. And it was at that moment I realized, okay, what did I just say? Getting ready to turn you over to the other side. And I know she didn't want to see me or any of her children in pain of her leaving, but we're going to the other side. And she had to know that it was okay for me to, um, that I would be okay, that my family would be okay, that her grandkids would be okay, and to just let her know that I'm o- that I'm all right. It's okay. You don't have, don't suffer here. Don't stay in pain here. It's okay. Go to the other side. And when I that meaning of that just hit me in that split second, and I was holding her right hand, and then I went back to that thought of why am I so short? And I'm not on my knees. I don't feel my knees on the floor. Um, but I don't feel my feet either. I look down and I don't see anything. I just see the floor. And then I look up at my mom and I look at her face, and then I look to see if I could find the rest of the bed, because the bed just moved like really easily, like it was on wheels, but it just like I just barely just moved my arm and the bed rolled like really easily. And I was like, why is it like this? So then I look at my mom and I see her face, and then down from her chest is nothing else. Like no bed, no like no sheets, nothing. And I recognized it was our spirits. It was just our consciousness. It was just our spiritual beings in that dream. And that's what it's like when we are outside of our bodies, when we die, when we go from life to life. Uh, a lot of people that describe their NDEs is it's like that, to where they don't really have anything else. They just have a consciousness, and they just know that they're still who they are, and they can think, have the same memories that they've lived here on earth, and they're still them. Like they're still you. I'm still me, but it's just like my mind, my spirit, my soul. And it's not necessarily a body, hands and feet and everything. But then later on, people do see, oh, look, you know, my hands are new, my feet are new. There's no pain. There's no like, it's just perfection. Like you feel invincible. And that's that feeling that I felt when I had came outside of my body. And I was like, wow, what is this? That's what I felt. I felt like I felt perfect. Like it was no pain or anything in my body. But yeah, but that's what I saw in that dream. And then I woke up, and my mom, I just looked up at her, and she's laying there in the bed, still not moving, not responding. Um, it's crazy. Like I say, when you're outside your body, you can travel. And there was one time when my siblings and we were looking for some things in her room, and we put some boxes and stuff on her bed. And she not when she came home for hospice, she not one time did she ever put her feet on the floor to walk. to her room. She was like in the family room, and that's where her bed was. You know, we had her bed station, and because this room had more room than her bedroom, so so she never saw her bedroom when she came home for hospice, and she told my sister uh, one morning when she did start talking again, like she would kind of leave and come back and leave and come back. I said, oh, she's traveling, she's moving different places, she's visiting different places. So, but when she did start to um, respond and talk, sometimes she would talk to my sister, and she told her one morning, I wanted to lay down in my bed, but it's too much stuff on my bed. I can't lay down on there. Get that stuff off my bed. And I was like, oh yeah, for sure. She's moving around, she's traveling. So her body was going in and out within this transition period. And there's a person that before she had fully transitioned, before they declared her as dead, it was about a day before, she visited a friend of hers, and he messaged my sister sending condolences because she visited him and said, I'm in heaven. I'm in heaven. Basically, just letting them know that I'm good. I'm okay. Don't worry about me. But yeah, she visited him and told him that she's in heaven. But when my sister got the message, she's like, what are you talking about? Like, she's not gone yet. She's still at home at hospice. But yeah, um, it wasn't long until after that she finally did um, decide to go to the other side. And I was with her, and my sister was with her, and it's it's quite an experience. For me to know what I know now, I think it's really helped me to deal with it in a way that that's better than what I would have if I didn't know. I My father transitioned when I was 15, so I've been dealing with this, thinking about these things for a long time, and I experienced a lot of deaths in my family, friends, at a young age, even before 15. So I had been wondering about this stuff, been thinking about this stuff, studying what happens when we die. Is death even real? If Jesus, pretty much, took the keys from hell, or, he has all the power in his hands to where the sting of death is can't affect us anymore. Like, I was like, is that real? And yeah, it's real. It's actually real. Like, I didn't even see myself as dead. I didn't even see myself as, uh, when I came out of my body, it was like no difference as far as just being awake, and I'm living. I'm still alive. I was even more alive because I was in no pain. And when I think about my mom, she's in no pain. That was her main thing. She didn't want to be in any more pain. So I know she's just feeling perfect. She's feeling no pain. A lot of people, when they go to heaven, uh, they go back to their prime age. Like, those that live a long time, they're not old. They don't look old. They look like they're in their 30s. Um, if there's babies or something that pass away, they can grow and, become older, but they'll be like in their prime state. And, just to think about things like this, like I'm like, man, she can go and think about someone and just be there. Oh, how's my son? Boom, she's right there. Be in the room, look at them. Oh, they good. All right. How's my granddaughter? Boom. Go see the granddaughter in another city, another state. Be right there. Boom. There. How's my grandson? Boom. Just think about it. Right there. All right, what's it like over here in this part of heaven? Boom. Right over there. Like just think about it. Okay, how's this person? Who's, anybody that's she can just go anywhere, and just be there. I have some family members saying that they've seen her just walking around in their room, singing, just letting them know that she's all right. She's in heaven. She's good. Um, the crazy thing is to finish up what I'm telling you here is when my father passed, he transitioned to the other side. I would always see the number 42 every single day. I look at the time, it's 10:42. I turn on the oven, come back, don't look at the time at all. But when I do look at the time, it's 42 seconds left. Like things like that happening to me every day. Somebody says 42. Um, so I started studying the meaning of 42. And I did like some TikTok videos about it, asked people about it. Everybody's saying, oh, you need to watch that movie or read this book about the meaning of 42, or it's the meaning of life. And angel numbers, it means keep on going. And so then I see Spider-Man and across the universe, and um, I'm like, oh my god, like the spider has 42 on it. I saw a ghost, and you see in the subway there's 42 all across. Like, what? um yeah, so all of these wild things happening, so it led me to the question of what will happen when I turn 42 years old. Right now I'm 42. And I think my dad may have been trying to tell me, you'll have time to spend with your mom on this side, in this realm, on this earth, until you're 42. And just thinking about that, I'm like, wow, this is crazy. This is, and I know that he may be still be sending me messages. Like he's been in my dreams before. Like when I was gonna graduate college, um, he showed up in a dream, and I'll talk about it in another video. But he showed up in a dream to let me know that he was proud of me. I was like, wow, it's crazy. I visited his grave, and a butterfly came and just flew down, stayed right on his stone, and I just stood there and looked at it, and it looked like it was just looking at me, just kind of just moving its wings like that, and I was like it's like, hey, I'm right here, you know, I'm okay. You're okay. Everything's gonna be okay. That's something that he told my mom. He passed from cancer, brain cancer, and my mom passed from pancreatic cancer. And one of the last things, like he was, good, healthy, all the way till the last year of his life, and he got sick this last year of his life, and we took care of him, my mom and I. And I remember one day he was just telling her, "It's gonna be okay. Everything's gonna be all right. Everything's gonna be okay." And I just remember just him just hugging her and just holding her and telling her that, because it was a really hard day that day, and she was just crying, and he just tried to reassure her that everything's gonna be okay. And that was like him when that butterfly came up there. Everything's gonna be okay. Everything's gonna be okay. And every time I'm going through something, or I'm outside and look out the window, I see a little butterfly flying across. Everything's gonna be okay. And he just keeps on showing up, giving me these numbers, showing me the butterflies, and I'm like, wow. So I know she's able to see him. She's able to reunite, and it's actually amazing. I mean, it gives me peace knowing that she's experiencing the kingdom of God like no other. And not only is she learning of ways to be able to go different places, and to even help her siblings, help her kids from the other side. Like, you can still learn things. There's people that's like going to libraries in heaven. But all of this is basically a learning experience. It's called Earth School. That's what a lot of people that have NDEs call it. This is Earth School, and we're here to learn. We are here to live, experience love, experience life, and learn from this, and then take back what we learn to the other side and keep expounding on it. If we choose to come back, you know, but you say a lot of times this is really hard to do, but we can choose um, what we do, how we come here, who we come here with. Like, then we choose to forget it. And so that it's like a game almost, to where we have to figure out, as we go along in this life, because because we choose to not remember that we knew this stuff before. But yeah, it's a lot. It's so much here. But if you study NDEs, um, like I have, just recognize that everybody's experience is their experience, and your experience may be different. Um, the last part, that morning when I had died and came back, I got a call from someone at my church saying that a friend of mine from church had just passed away that morning. It could have been him that was standing by my bedside saying, "Come on, Tyler, let's go. It's time to go, man." It could have been him. It could have been someone else. It could have been the entity that took him. I don't know. Oh man, I get the chills just thinking about it. But yeah, there is no death. We never die. It's just life after life. That's the way I look at it. So, you have any questions about anything you want to talk about, you think you want to ask me, um, put it in the comments. Let me know. Like this video if you like it. If you love this kind of content, if you want me to talk about these kind of things more, please, 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 share this with someone who needs to hear it, who it may give some peace if they just lost someone. I don't never say that we lost anyone anymore, because we never lose them. Their memories are still with us. Their spirit is still living, even more alive than it was on this realm and this earth. So, um, yeah, we never really lose anybody. They just energy never is destroyed. It's just transferred into a different. Um, it just moves in a different way. It's just transferred in a different way than what we're used to seeing it. Like water, it can freeze, become an ice cube. It can melt, become liquid again. Like the energy is never destroyed. It's just transferred into a different being, so to speak, or be into a different way of being. So yeah, peace and blessings, strength, encouragement to you if you just experience the transition of someone, and everything's gonna be okay. It will be better. Life life is full of choices, and the choices we make affect how long we're here or not here. But every experience is a great learning experience, and I'm grateful for all the experiences and all the memories that I have with my mom, with my dad, everyone that's gone before, and everyone that's here now. I'm grateful for it all. So thank you so much for watching. Subscribe so you can get more videos. And yo, blessings, peace, and love. And remember, every day is a great day. This is a day the Lord has made, and I choose to rejoice and be glad in it. Keep on going no matter what. I'm going to live and build on to the legacy that has been built for me, that my mom built, that my dad built, that my grandparents built, that all my ancestors built for me. I'm going to just keep on building on that. And I encourage you to do the same and make life better, make life sweet.